guys, hello. Thank you so much for coming to visit me again today in this video. So, I'm recording this video after just recording another one, so you're gonna see me in the same clothes, same setting, same everything. And just like last time, disclaimer, this house is near a small airport, so you might hear some planes flying overhead, maybe some helicopters. And there's two dogs that I'm taking care of, so you'll definitely hear some like dog leash noises. And for some reason the outside's been a bit noisy today, so people are doing lawn work and birds are chirping nearby. A bird just sent a metal bowl flying in the backyard because the bird was trying to go after the cat's food. So yeah. Anywho, in this video, as I mentioned before, I want to talk about the concerts I've been to this year. So I thought I'd do a little bit of an overview of the concerts I've been to in the last year. Now, I don't usually go to concerts this much. Like, I have a few friends that are like concert buffs and they go to like all of them. I'm not really like that, mainly because of money, but also because I'm really short, and if I ever get like PID or general admission, or like just in general, it's hard seeing over people for me, so I don't tend to have the best time at concerts. But anyways, I was thinking back to the concerts I've been to in the last year, and I've actually been to quite a bit, thanks to one of my friends who's a huge concert buff, and I had told him about a year ago that in the midst of like my depression and just mental health stuff, that I wanted to get out and like live a little bit more this like past year. So in an effort to do that, he promised he would take me to concerts, or like force me to go to concerts. So I agreed to some, more so the artists that I like. So I guess I'll start with last October. I went to the When We Were Young festival in Las Vegas, and that was really fun, really tiring, interesting, because for those of you that have heard of it, or even if you haven't, that was the first time they were doing a festival. They were doing that specific festival, and it had artists that I guess were, a lot of them still make music, but a lot of them represent, I guess, millennials or people around my age. It represents a lot of their like childhood and adolescence. So it was a lot of like the older popular bands. So for example, Paramore was there, My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, A Day to Remember, Boys Like Girls, like those kinds. But there was a ton more. Oh, Avril Lavigne was there. It was awesome, and it was originally supposed to be like a one-day thing. They ended up extending it to 3 days, and then it just so happened that the first day the festival was meant to take place in Las Vegas, there was like, I think like a sandstorm or something. Like the air quality was really bad, the wind was really bad, and it was blowing in a lot of like sand and dust into the city. I don't know where that dog is coming from. Sorry if you hear that dog barking. So anywho, so that first day actually ended up getting canceled because of that like sandstorm and windstorm. But me and my group that went just so happened to have the second day ticket. So we actually were scared when we got there and heard the first day was canceled, that like our day would be canceled too. Miraculously, the next day everything cleared up, the air quality like improved. There wasn't as much wind, so the second day actually became day one. So I got to go to day one of the When We Were Young festival, and it was awesome. We weren't sure how they were gonna like, how everybody was scheduled all at different times, and each of the artists, I believe almost all of the artists performed or were set to perform all 3 days. It wasn't like, oh, two headliners were for one day and the next. It was like it was exactly the same for the 3 days. So, it had been that was like my first real music festival, and it was was cool. I got to see them at the festival. The only thing is, like I mentioned earlier, I'm 5 feet tall. 5 feet tall. So music festivals, I realized, due to that experience, I realized that they're probably not for me. Like, one, I'm never gonna get in the front because even though we had gotten there early, the lines were like ridiculous. And at one point, we realized that the line we were waiting in for like 2 hours to get in wasn't even an actual line. Like, people just somehow managed to line up, and we all just assumed that was the line to get in. But then at one point, there were people walking by that just, like, they weren't waiting in line and they were just going into the festival grounds. Like, it was one big opening. So we didn't understand how we waited in that line for 2 hours, and like, really, we should have sent someone to check. But whatever, we also didn't have cell service at the festival grounds there. So that was another issue. I digress. Overall though, it was really fun. I had a hard time seeing half the time. The screens were kind of far away too. They didn't have it, like, they only had it by the stages down on the ground, not like raised up or in the middle of the crowd or anything like that. So it was kind of hard. I was tiptoeing a lot, but I had fun with the people I was with. We heard a lot of good music, nostalgic music. So that was really, really fun. And we got to explore Las Vegas a little bit that weekend. I think I won some money. I lost some money for sure. Y'all, I shouldn't be let into casinos. One, I look super young, so they're all questioning me, like, are you even allowed here? And two, I would absolutely like spend my life savings in a casino. I'm not even kidding. I could see like how people become addicted to that. So that was the When We Were Young festival. That was the start of this kickoff, and that was really fun, and that was last October. The second concert that I've been to in the past year was Panic at the Disco. So this was before they announced that I guess they're going on like a hiatus, or they're like done, I don't know, permanently, no say. I don't know. But this was before that announcement that Brendan Urie made. And me, my friend, and I got pit tickets. And this was the first time in pit that I could actually see, because this pit was a little bit different. They had a stage. They had the stage, and then they had set up like walkways shaped into an X. So the people were standing below in that X. That was the pit, like that, not X, square. I'm so dumb. In the square. I can't believe I just said that. I'm not gonna cut that out because you guys can see how scatterbrained I am. So in the square was where people would stand. That was the actual pit, so it was separated from the rest of like general admission and the actual seating in the stadium. So from the pit, you're actually looking up at the stage, and you can actually see all the way around whenever they're walking. So that was the first time standing in pit or general admission that I can actually see the performer without having to like tippy-toe or somebody taller in front of me like blocking me, because we're all just looking up. So I actually really enjoyed that concert. wasn't like super familiar with her music, but my friend was like, my friend is into her, and he's like, oh, like I want to go. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And he bought my ticket, like he didn't give me a choice, kind of thing. But either way, it was a new experience. I wanted to go. It was alright. She's a good performer herself. She has a great voice. I wasn't familiar with the song, so I wasn't really like singing along. And that was one of those. He ended up getting pit because he just loves he loves pit or general admission. So he got pit for those tickets, but I had a rough time seeing over people because, again, I'm 5 feet tall. And just everybody is taller than me. So it was really hard to just like look over people, and I'm craning my neck and my back hurts and I'm tiptoeing. So at one point I just gave up and like listened to the music and stared at the back of somebody's head. But yeah, overall it was okay. The concert after that I went to in the start of the summer was Paramore, and I was super excited for this one because even though I had kind of seen them in when we were young, that crowd was massive, and I saw the screens. I couldn't see her perform up close, and Hayley Williams is an awesome performer. Like, I've seen her videos of her performing, and I kind of saw her on the screen when I went last year to the festival, so I was super excited. And Paramore is one of my favorite bands. Probably when I was younger they were number one for me. Now they're probably tied for number one or a close second. But I love Hayley Williams as a performer, and her voice, and just their songs. I love them. So for that concert, we also got pit, and we got there kind of early, so we weren't necessarily in the front, but we weren't all the way in the back either. So I had a little bit of a better view, but I still struggled. But I was like, I don't care. I'm tiptoeing for this one. In hindsight, somebody suggested to me that I should get like platform shoes for these concerts, and I don't know why I didn't consider it sooner. Anywho, but yeah, that one was awesome. I'm so happy I got to see her, though, even though like it wasn't full force in the front and like a good view the whole time. She's just an amazing performer, and I love her, and I love their music. I love their new album. I love all their albums. So the next concert that I went to was Fall Out Boy, and Fall Out Boy is actually my favorite band, at least at the moment. But they have been for a while. Like, they've been number one for me for so long, and this is actually the third time that I'm seeing them in concert. I saw them back in, I think, 2018 for their Mania tour, and then I saw them like 2 years ago when they did the Hella Mega tour with Weezer and Green Day. That was really good. And then I saw them this year again. But this year the difference is I got pit tickets, and this wasn't even my friend that had to convince me. This was just me. Like, I was gonna see them up close. I didn't care, and I was gonna get there super early. I didn't care. I needed to be right in front of them. And for this concert, there was a few openers, but the one that stuck out to me the most, which they're pretty popular too, and I like their music, is Bring Me the Horizon. So they were one of the openers with them. he's really good live too. Pete looks a little like he's miserable sometimes, but he's still a really great performer too. And overall, the concert was awesome. I loved. They played some of their older stuff. They played some of the newer stuff. So pretty much all of my favorites. And I like that they do this thing during the concert, where they ask a magic 8-ball, like what mystery song should they play from any of their albums. Usually it's older stuff though. So they did that for the show, and it was just a really good time. I had fun. I went super close, and yeah. Also, I said that I would save this for the tattoo video, but I'm too excited like talking about them. So the new tattoo that I ended up getting is actually in honor of Fall Out Boy and their new album, and that's this guy right here. So I really like it. It's the symbol that they've been using. And then the album cover for their new album, the So Much for Stardust, is a picture of a dog. So for the concert, they actually released merch where you can add a picture of your own dog for the concert, like for the t-shirt. So it looked like their album cover, but with a picture of your own dog. So maybe I'll like insert the picture of Lulu that I put, and I wore the shirt to the concert. So that was really cool. I'm trying to think. That's pretty much it. That concert was awesome. They're coming around again. They're touring again for this same like tour, I guess. But they're calling it So Much for Tour Dust. Like tour with a 2, because they're doing round 2 of touring. I don't know if that made sense. Go look at their Instagram. So I already have tickets for those, so I'm gonna see them again in the beginning, I think March, April or March, I don't remember, but I'm seeing them again for, it's probably gonna be a similar show, but I think they're gonna have different openers this time. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, I guess that's it for Fall Out Boy. The next concert that I went to right after Fall Out Boy was actually Sam Smith. So I think I saw that Sam Smith and Pitt, but this one was tougher because we didn't get there as early. It was hard to see over people, and it was like this. I promise you, this guy was like 6 foot something, and he was just standing right in front of me. So